MP Jazik for 6 minutes.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Mr. Obed and Ms. Grable, for coming again to our committee. We didn't have the benefit of your wisdom at your previous attendance here. And I do want to reference something, Mr. Obed, because it was 8 years ago, but your words to the Ontario legislature back in June 2016 have remained with me through this time. And you spoke particularly about the resilience of Inuit people. And surely that's being tested now with climate change, obviously, is a very real threat, and the resilience is so impressive in the face of that. Now, you've talked about priorities, and as I understand from the National Inuit Strategy on Research, you've identified the priority areas. And of course, we've heard a lot about physical infrastructure and so on. But would you be able to elaborate a little bit on the pressing health challenges facing Inuit communities today, and how research can address these particular challenges?
Thanks. We're quite fortunate to be in the midst of Kanuipita, a national Inuit health strategy. We're doing field work now across our 4 regions. Field work has already been completed in the Inuvialuit and also in the Inuit Tapiriit regions. This is building off of the International Polar Year Inuit health surveys that were point-in-time captures of Inuit health and wellness across Inuit Nunangat. We are now doing a health survey that will be stable and sustainable. We hope to do it every 4 to 5 years. So we're in the midst of creating that first cohort, or that first summary data that will allow us to be very clear about Inuit health status in 2023 or 2024. We relied on Aboriginal People Survey and other related health surveys in the last 20 to 30 years, and this is a definite step up. About our health status, we have huge challenges in regards to food insecurity and poverty. Our food insecurity rates are upwards to 70% for moderate and severe food insecurity. Our overcrowding rates are around 55%. Our tuberculosis rates are over 300 times the national average of those who are born in Canada. We also have a life expectancy that is over 10 years less than the Canadian life expectancy. So we have essential challenges when it comes to health. Some of that comes from lack of access. Our morbidity rate for cancer treatment is much higher than the Canadian average. The challenges that we face are, one, health access. Most of our health care comes through referral structures. We have health centers in communities, but they're nurses that provide care and refer all patients who have anything significant that's a health challenge to regional centers. Often those regional centers are then referral centers to the south. So much of the acute care that happens for Inuit across Canada happens in St. John's, in Montreal, in Ottawa, Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Yellowknife. That system has saved lives, but in its construction is a barrier to upstream care and ensuring that those who have significant illnesses can be diagnosed and treated quickly. We also have challenges in relation to, in the climate sense, we have less access to hunting and fishing and traditional foods. And so it has then had challenges on our diet, but also on the social fabric of our community and the way in which we share with one another, the way in which we pass down knowledge and information, and then the overall health of our communities.
So if I could just follow up a little bit on the food security piece, and you've talked about adaptation mitigation. Is there any research that has shown any cause for optimism for growing foods perhaps further north than was ever able to be done previously? So there's less reliance on shipping in foods to your communities. Is there anything there that looks more positive?
Well, growing up in Nunangat, we had Moravian missionaries from the 1700s till now. So I grew up with rhubarb being a part of my diet growing up, or seeing people trying to get very tiny potatoes out of a garden. But that's about the extent of it. And we've experimented with greenhouses, but the challenge with greenhouses is tied with infrastructure costs and also energy costs. And we need to get our communities off diesel. We need to be able to have more established infrastructure to allow for goods to transit across Inuit Nunangat and to the south and back to the north, to be able to build local food options. Right now, our food producing capacity is often feeding people in other parts of the world as well, and that's a systemic challenge. All of the fish that are caught off 0A and 0B in the Davis Strait often go to China. A lot of the caribou and char that are caught in inshore fisheries or hunted end up being served in restaurants in southern Canada or other places.
Thank you. I'm sorry, that's our chime, but we might have other people want to follow up on that. So now we're going to